welcome back and thanks for taking the time to join me. I'm going to show you how to tie a wee balanced leech pattern. Now, it's been a long time since I've knocked one of these up, but that's it there. That's how I'm going to show you how to put it together. That's the wee hot head bead at the front to get it to balance. Now the hook and the vise is a size 12 jig hook. Tie these from a size 8, 10, maybe down to a 14. Down to what they call micro leeches. Now what you need is, first off you need a sequence pin, or just a pin. I've got these out of the Hobbycraft store. A hemline, I've plenty of them for £2.50. Then I'm going to pair that up with the brass hot head, fluorescent pink, 2.8mm. Now you can have them in white, you can have the head in white. Which one can I get you this? You can have it in the rainbow colours in 3mm. Now all you do is take your pin, take your wee bead here that I have on my other hand, just drop it onto the pin, pull it up, and then just cut your pin to length. Now I've already got one here that's cut to length. This is it here. Just use a pair of pliers to cut it to length. So I'm going to show you how to put it together. Now the thread is an Ultra thread in 70. You can use any thread you want. Just going to prefer to use this for the leech patterns. Now when you start your thread, don't be starting it down here at the eye. Just start up here at the bend where the wire's bent round to create the jig. Then work your thread down until you're at the point of the hook. Then bring your thread back up halfway. Now this is a bit of trial and error here when you start tying these, because you want to try and get it to balance. So just offer this up and over the eye of the hook. Work the thread back, making sure, just keeping my fingers on top here to control the thread and to keep the pin on top of the shank of the hook. And then back up. Now, at this point the best thing to do is to come in and whip finish. Pull the thread tight, trim away your tan thread. Now, if you've got a bit of waste wire or even leader nylon on your desk, just feed this through. Take this, just open the jaws of the vise, and that should balance for you, like that. Now just take a measurement of your sequence pin and the length, and then you can sit and you can knock up a half a dozen of these or so. Just take the wire out of the way. Now I'm just going to put this back in to the vise and tighten up. Come back in with our thread. Now to see the sequence pin, it has a terrible habit to pull out. Now most boys will face these underneath an indicator, but I like to pull them. So I'm going to work my thread back. Now at this point, just come in, wee coat of super glue on this. Just let it soak right through, right in through the pin. That'll soak right down onto the hook. Now the best thing to do at this point is to leave that and let it dry, and then we'll come back and we'll tie the rest of the fly. Okay guys, so now that the glue is dried, just work your thread forward. Now at this point, just bring your thread up and bring it onto the sequence pin. Bring your thread up behind the bead. You're just looking to create a small reservoir thread just to stop the bead moving on you. Bring the thread back down, back onto the hook, and then back down to the back, just to where we had finished off before we glued. Now the tail, we're looking some black marabou. Now you can tie these any colour you wish. It doesn't have to be the same colours that I'm using here. Now I'm just going to take a couple of pinches of the black marabou. I'm not going to sort of line the tips up by breaking them off or anything. I'm just going to take this the way it is. And I'll tell you why. It just adds the shape that I want to see into the fly. Now, just taking that about a length and a half of the hook over the back, just tie it in nice and tight. Then we'll come in with our scissors, just lift the excess, trim it away at the back. It's just to fill the void of the gap between the sequence pin and the hook. Just tidy up. Nice and tight. Now I'm going to put some flesh into the tail. And I'm just using some wing flesh. This is it here. Blue pearl wing flesh. This is from Blob and Buzzer. Just a couple of strands each side. Nice and tight. Just fold it back. Bring it back down the other side of the tail. Down your side, I should say. And then you can come in and trim this to the length. At this point, I'm going to create a double loop, so bring our thread forward. Stretch out your thread, create a loop with your finger, and then just come up and just tie back over the thread. Working the thread back down, tied up against the tail. Work your thread back up. Now at this point, come straight back onto the sequence pin to there. Then come in with your dubbing twister. Now, the dubbing that I'm using is the Mosaic Twinkle Dub from Blob and Buzzer on this wee fly. Now I've just mixed it here with some black seal's fur. So just put this inside our dubbing loop. Now what I would say is put a good bunch in. Don't be shy with it, because we're going to pick this out at the end. So load up your dubbing loop. It wants to stay in for you. And once you get into the rhythm of this, you'll knock these out in no time at all. Then we're just going to twist. Just till it's all caught in. Now once I have it all sort of way caught in, just going to hold the thread, spin the twister, keep it tight, let the twist go into the thread, pull the thread tight here. Then you can come in with a wee material clip, catch that in, and then you can come in and trim away the thread. And then you can bring up your dubbing. Just one turn in front of the other. Don't worry about it if it seems tight at the start, because like I say, we're going to brush this out. Just sweep it back as you go. Right up there. We're going to come onto the sequence pin at this point, so just bring your dubbing loop around the eye, as you can see there, and just work this up. Right. To be honest guys, these are lethal, these flies, tied in any colour. Very, very good patterns. So if you fish for the rainbows, these are good flies to have in your box. And work it right tight up against the bead. Nice and tight. To there. Follow this around with your thread. You can take off your material clip at this point. Get a couple of turns in. Just fold everything back. Nice tight turns in at the bead. Now, just come in at this point with your whip finishing tool. Throw in a nice tight whip finish. Pull your thread away. Then you can come in and trim away your dubbing loop that you created. Now, see at this point, you're just going to come in here and just scrape a life out of this with a bit of Velcro. Or if you've got a dubbing brush. Now, you can rough it up more than that if you wish. But that there's basically your balanced leech. That's like a Mosaic one. if you like. Now, obviously, test it again. Make sure that it's may not be completely balanced, but it's going to give you that action that you want to see when you're pulling the fly. So just a wee bit of wire again, just to test it out. There you go. So that's gonna go along. I'm gonna pull that along, and that's gonna really work for you. It's going to plenty action in that fly. Now, like I say, you can brush it out a wee bit more if you wish. Just come in with a toothbrush, or if you've got a designated dubbing brush, and just brush it out. Nice and slim. Plenty of action in the water for the stockies. But there you go, guys. Now, there's nothing to it. Once you sort of sit down, that's just the second one. So after this video here, I'll just sit and build just the sequence pins with the threads on them with no material, and then take it from there. So I'll do a couple in that colour, probably do a half a dozen to a dozen in that colour, then we'll move on to the olives with the white tungsten bead on them. But look, tie a few of those up. I know they're not traditional flies, but genuinely they work. They're very good flies to have in your box for rainbow trout. So tie a few up, let me know how you get on if you're facing them, and till next time, please stay safe and take lines.